This is the 1979 Firebird Trans Am, of which I did a part 1 video of just a little while back. The Trans Am has been hopped up, upgraded, brought up to speed by Callaway Customs in Paris, Texas. The part 1 video had the following topics, if not more: history of the car, brake system install, air intake manifold install, 102mm throttle body, Terminator, EFI, fuel rails, injectors, etc. installed, new fuel system, and new lights. Really a lot of work in that first video. In this part 2 video, the next set of changes I will be going over are the Detriot Speed 4-link Quadralink rear suspension system install. Took 3 days. Then taken for alignment at a tire shop on the 4th day. Subsequently, once that was done, I will show you some of the Trans Am cruising out in the wild on Route 66. And finally, when all that was done, the car really began getting a good body work and paint job done at Tub Restorations. Welcome to Road Odyssey. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you will enjoy this video. Thank you to Callaway Customs for letting me record at their shop, and to Adam Sandoval for letting me record his build and be a part of his Route 66 cruise. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate that very much. And there are links below for Adam Sandoval and much more. To begin this video, I asked the question, why would someone spend time and money on a classic car? When a person has been both responsible and thrifty with savings, then a reward for all of that hard work is justified. In Adam's case, the seriously deserving ride that he preferred was this 1979 Firebird Trans Am. Yes, this is a 1979, but it has a 1978 front and rear bumper. Keep in mind that a car like this is becoming hard to find good replacement parts for, OEM or used. It's just hard. And upgrading these cars can be increasingly, well, a unique challenge. While Adam has had his challenges, he has done a magnificent job at continuing with improvements for this Trans Am. From the very beginning, the paint was not really up to par. That is why the Trans Am is currently, at the time of this video, at Tub Restorations, getting a full paint job. Still to be in black as before. Cecil, Tub, Mike, and Kevin are all doing a fine job of making body repairs and reconditioning all of the contours of the Trans Am. Some dents were found, a few bigger than others. Cecil pulled and hammered the dents out of the left rear quarter, worked that area until it became fairly accurate again. Then a thin layer of body filler and sanding got it back to its original contour. The left side where the bumper insert was off, they drew the proper contour of that and got it fixed. The dents on that same side were also shaping up very well. Mike worked the rear area more and more to get it just right. They also realigned the trunk lid bracket. Well, with that trunk lid down, you can see that every line is perfectly matched up, so that rear end is beginning to look great. The hood was coming along very well too. Kevin was doing the first couple of sandings on it. They repaired the area where the alternator was cracking the hood on that driver's side. Not that you might be able to tell, but you can see how the front of the alternator was shaven down to try not to hit the hood too bad. But there were some occasions where alternators were hitting that hood and damaging it. I think this will be a non-issue in the future. Kevin also worked on the rear bumper, started getting that all fixed up and shaped properly, while Cecil worked on the front bumper, and he had found that several of the mounting points were broken. He glued and fiberglassed them back into place and has already done some fitment testing for that. Seems to be working out well. This front bumper looks like a chainsaw. What I'm talking about is the front bumper support. It was cut with a torch. Cecil had a few leads on getting the right support. A friend at a local junkyard had found one and passed it off to Cecil for this Trans Am. I'd say we've polished off this topic for now and ready to continue with the Detriot Speed Quadralink. Before the car went on Route 66 or to the body paint shop, it was at Callaway Customs getting a new Detriot Speed Quadralink suspension. I was not there on day one, so I had to steal pictures from Adam's videos and get information from the Detriot Speed website, and I have links below for all of that. There are a lot of parts, such as single adjustable JRI aluminum body coilover shocks with Detriot tuned valving, coilover springs, long upper arm links for pinion angle control. Long arm links are offset inboard for additional tire clearance. Long rod for rear axle lateral control during hard cornering, and tons of bracketry and whatnot as well. It's a big kit. The pinion angle and or the wheelbase can be adjusted without unbolting the link from the car. Very nice system, very handy. Of importance, the Callaways and Adam only had 4 days to get the new rear suspension installed and aligned. Wow. The first day of work was more of the destruction, removing stuff from the trunk, removing the back half of all the interior, the exhaust, drive shaft, gasoline gas tank, and the original suspension, of course. Pretty straightforward, all just disassembly. The reasoning for removing the rear seats and the carpeting and any soundproofing on that back half of the interior was that holes had to be made for the upper arm links to fit into. I really picked up recording on the morning of day 2. Adam was eager to be of help as much as possible because they had to get the job done pretty quick, so it required all hands on deck. There was still a lot of cutting and parts to install as I showed the adjustable shocks, upper and lower arm links, traverse bar, track bar, and assorted brackets. Fabrication work began with gusto on this second day. They had altered the leaf spring pockets for new mounts. They have also reworked the frame rail with the fill panel. This is what the frame area looks like after being cut away. The back floor gussets were removed. Jason is checking the fitment of the lower link pocket mount, and Adam does some trimming there as Jason cleans up the factory floor pan gusset locations. All of this is on pages 8 or 25. Here I'm just giving you a look at this whole rear end. So the rear axle and that 10-bolt rear diff. Scott and Alex got the rear end on some brand new tall jacks. Adam helped to remove the wheels and brakes. while Jason welded in the left side fill panel and pocket mounts. I showed the manual where axle work begins on page 15. They all had a little fun with the plasma cutter, removing the original leaf springs and shock mounts from the rear end. There are some really important steps in this section, since you must get all brackets on the axle put back on from the kit exactly right. It's one of those devils in the detail type thing. To expedite the old bracket removal, Jason just got the torch and torched them off. After a while, Adam cleaned it all up with a grinder. And that brings pretty much the end of day 2 for me, but all the guys stayed late to get more work done. So, at the end of day 2, they completed the rear end. Alex had found an error or omission in the instructions regarding the track bar mount to the axle. Took a bit of careful inspection of the diagrams to get that right. Furthermore, in this case, all of the new brackets to go around the axle had to be cut in half and then re-welded on properly. This was a very detail-oriented piece of work. Really was. At this point, they were installing the floor pan doublers, which is where the upper arm links will be inserted. This is page 10 and page 13 from the manual. From this clip, you can see the upper link pockets, the track bar body mount, and how they're all getting installed. Subsequently, Jason was reviewing some of what has been installed up to this point.
For your upper 4-link bar, this is your new coilover shock bracket. It's all one piece. Then you got the same thing over here. This side here has got the track bar bracket welded to it. Track bar is what centers the axle left and right in the car in a parallel 4-link. And then on the outside over here is basically just the same thing as the other side. Frame doubler, gussets, and then your coilover mount right there.
Jason also showed me how he would install the transverse tube, giving more strength to this whole back part of the body, which is explained in more detail on page 14 of the instructions.
So, yeah, that gets pushed up in there and welded. But it just makes the left and the right back side of the frame all one unit. More rigidity, the more rigid you can make it. Yep.
A little more tag team work as Jason was welding while Alex was priming and painting. I don't see an OSHA problem there. What are you talking about? This clip was just a review of the body parts installed so far. 2 days of work to get to this point, and Jason still had energy for a ballet move. Wow, such grace. Here, Alex was stabbing the upper arm link into that pocket that on the inside is behind the rear seat. This is around pages 16 and 17. Well, then installing the shocks. Installing the lower arm links. All of this was around pages 17 and 18. And just like that, well, sort of, the rear end was rolled back under the car. The lower arms were eventually connected. From there, they installed the upper links and shocks, finally installing the track bar that goes from one side to the other. All of this will certainly be readjusted in later steps and when the car goes for alignment. As you might suspect, the gas tank did have to be reinstalled, along with brake lines being taken care of, wheels being put back on, shocks, adjustment of these shocks, and stance adjustments as well. Installed a new temporary exhaust, and are you exhausted by now? I know they were. There's just a little bit more to go. Getting back to the back of the interior, it was time for them to paint the new pockets for those upper links. Once primed and painted, the whole back area was soundproofed, primarily with Hush Mat. Finally, the last part of the interior was to cut out blocks of fluff from the rear seats where those upper link pockets now reside. When it was completed, the guys celebrated with a cold drink and had a little downtime. It had been 3 very long, at least 10-hour days, if not more. Adam Sandoval did make a video published on his YouTube channel, which is listed in the description below. Finally, on the 4th day, Adam took the Trans Am to a local tire shop for alignment, Tire City in Paris, Texas. Pretty neat shop. From there, Adam took the Trans Am on his Route 66 cruise called the Shakedown Show, mainly for the reason that he was actually giving the Trans Am a shakedown, and for the fact that it was his first car cruise, so he was getting used to that type of event. If possible, I will pick up with the final paint completed by Tub Restorations just north of Sulphur Springs, Texas. There might be an engine swap coming along too. Well, time will only tell though. I very much appreciate you watching this video. Please subscribe and give a like. I appreciate that as well. And please view all or any of my prior videos. That is really what makes YouTube, well, work. And with that, please relax. Take it easy, and I will see you later. Bye.